welcome to Tuesday Newsday, your number one resource for the entire week's worth of VR news. Quest V38 update hits headsets this week, bringing a couple small changes, and people's app libraries are disappearing on Quest. A mysterious new VR headset pops up, and Mark Zuckerberg, Gabe Newell, and Palmer Luckey all talk about the metaverse while this happens. Facebook is banned in Russia, all that and so much more, but first, you know what goes good with a coffee intro? Cereal, which is why I thought this week's sponsor was perfect, Magic Spoon. A lot of my family is gluten intolerant, so cereal is kind of this forbidden, deadly fruit in my household. But that's where this is different. Magic Spoon is gluten-free, keto-friendly, soy-free, protein-packed, and it still actually tastes good, I promise. It's nice actually having cereal back in the house that isn't sugar and grain-packed and that people can actually eat. You can try it too with the link below. Use code ThrillSeeker at checkout to get $5 off your order, or go to magicspoon.com/ThrillSeeker. If you don't like it, they'll even give you a refund, no questions asked. Check it out down below after the video and make sure to use code ThrillSeeker at checkout. And now let's just get right into the news. Earlier this year at CES, I covered a brand new VR headset, the MEGANEX, a tiny micro OLED VR headset from Shiftall, the same manufacturer as the Harator X full body tracking setup. This headset is a super light inside-out track Steam VR headset rocking, of course, micro OLED displays, and was set to launch this spring in just a few months. But Shiftall just recently announced that the MEGANEX will be delayed until the end of 2022 due to the persisting pandemic-related issues as well as continuing semiconductor shortages. The company saying, "We are very sorry for those of you who are looking forward to the MEGANEX, but please wait a little longer for its release," end quote. Definitely still keeping my eyes out for this one. Samsung at one point was one of the biggest names in virtual reality, spearheading the Samsung Gear VR with Oculus and the Odyssey and Odyssey Plus PC VR headsets on its own. Arguably, Samsung's WMR offerings being some of the best within that category until it was killed by Samsung right before the big VR boom. Well, it looks like we may just have another contender back in the ring, as Samsung says they are currently working on a new XR-related product, possibly a new AR/VR headset, stating, quote, "Metaverse-related devices are now the talk of the town, so we have to buckle down to a task to cope with the trend. It won't take too long," end quote. Also saying they are striving for perfection as they gear up for the launch. So yeah, it looks like sometime in the very near future, Samsung is going to be back in VR tech, which definitely has me excited. The Gear VR, while dated, was released back in 2014, and their last headset, the Odyssey Plus, was easily the best WMR headset in my opinion, and had some really interesting tech, and of course, I welcome any competition we can get in the VR landscape. Which brings me on to the UNAI One, a mysterious website for a mysterious device. We've been building exciting new hardware, software, and art in stealth mode. We will be back online soon. So it seems a newcomer consisting of rebels from Apple, Nvidia, Intel, Activision, Sony, and the original founder of Relativity, an older open source VR headset project, are all coming together to build something new with the goal of making human expression in VR feel magical. There's nothing else on the device besides some talk of a decentralized metaverse and some older information that may be outdated with this trailer, but it seems they're trying to make a wire optional full body tracked high quality open source VR headset, and that sounds like exactly the kind of thing that I can sink my teeth into. More info on that the second that I learn more. A few big things regarding the Quest and Quest 2. Honestly, there's just a lot to unpack here, so let's just start here. Quest V38 update is live with a few notable changes. For one, the Oculus boot logo is now gone, replaced with a Meta logo. Also new are some social features like Recently Met and Mixed Reality Couch and Desk coming to full release. A couple new UI features as well, and that's basically it. Nothing massive or insane. But two other things regarding Quests are kind of massive. The latest Steam VR surveys show Meta's market share has grown to 67.2% of all VR headsets on Steam, and more than 50% of those headsets are Quests. With new unique VR play sessions up by 22% from last year, VR is predictably growing at a very good pace, and Meta is a big part of that. Valve even remarking that the growth is largely due to the Quest 2's introduction. VR is growing, and that's good, of course. But with all of this growth, there's bound to be some issues. One of those being moderation and parental supervision, which is why Meta has introduced a brand new set of supervision controls for the entire platform. By May, Meta will have introduced teenager accounts that will require the use of both a teenager Facebook account and a parental Facebook account, and will have the ability to block certain content using a parent dashboard hub on the Oculus app, and can even potentially block PC VR connectivity through Link and Air. This kind of goes back on the no longer needing a Facebook account thing from Connect last year, but in general, I welcome better app protections as it's been quite the issue lately, and it's an issue that isn't going to go away. But another more immediate big issue has popped up. People are reporting that either after an update or after attempting to unlink their Facebook account from their Quest account, that their entire app catalogs have disappeared, or they're completely locked out of their accounts, and it looks like a ton of people are being affected or were affected, essentially getting logged out of the Quest and either getting locked out of the account entirely or logging back in to find every game they've ever purchased just gone. And Meta says that this has been fixed for a majority of users, but others state it's been more than a week of being locked out without access of their content that they purchased. It seems that they're currently working on it, but it hasn't been resolved completely, and we don't know what's causing it, so just refrain from doing any big account changes for the time being. This might still be an issue. And there's another thing that I'm honestly pretty tired of talking about, and it's pretty obvious that everyone else is also tired of talking about this as well. People are still talking metaverse all the time. On all angles, you've got Gabe Newell hilariously blasting people stating, quote, "Most of the people who are talking about metaverse have absolutely no idea what they're talking about, and they've apparently never played an MMO. They're like, oh, you'll have this customizable avatar," and it's like, well, go into Final Fantasy XIV and tell me that this wasn't a solved problem from a decade ago, end quote. And then you got people like Jason Rubin, VP of Meta Content, going on about what the metaverse is going to do. It's going to be this thing that you do, moving back and forth between identities, back and forth between various interesting 3D social spaces. Having the power of Facebook behind it is like having the power of Facebook to make VR happen. Whew. But we're all tired, I think. And the analytics show that as well. This Forbes article stating interest in NFTs in the metaverse is falling fast. Google Trends showing metaverse and the term NFT falling together extremely fast as interest falters. And as people just move on with technology they either use or don't use. And the services that are already closer to the original version of a metaverse pitched by Meta, that more people are using and are already accustomed to naturally, well, those things don't call themselves metaverse services. But regardless of this starkly downward trend, I suppose the term has been coined to some level by now and is stuck in the general public's mind, but it is losing relevance, and it's losing relevance fast, which I'm happy to hear. I think it's time we all just took a moment and just enjoy this really cool VR thing that we have. This technology is really amazing, and just start having more fun with it. This goes all the way down to my content, to you guys day to day, and to my own life day to day. The NFT metaverse frenzy is on its way out for now, so let's just rest and enjoy VR for what it is. The point is that we're making this thing, and we're going to make this thing whatever we want, regardless of whatever company tries to make it happen, so might as well just enjoy it and stop stressing out. But now it's time for a meme break! Decentraland held a rave, stating, "This is the metaverse." Look. This is what a real party in VR, or the metaverse, actually looks like. And you know what? I'm just going to be straight up and plug this event right now. Fia from the virtual reality show, the ThrillSeeker community as a whole, and the Club Tube are all coming together this Saturday to host an actual VR rave. We got Slushy, Sizzy, Laxity all playing. It's going to be a great time, and it's going to be a party that VR remembers for forever. And I have Discord join links with instructions to join in the description. I don't know, I just found this whole thing a little funny. But now, back to the news. Russia has banned Facebook and Instagram in response to Meta taking a stance against Russia in the recent Ukraine invasion, cutting off Facebook services to around 70 million people. And while Russia already wasn't the easiest place in the world to get a Quest 2, and digital sales seem to have been practically halted due to a ban on SWIFT transactions, disallowing Russian-issued visas and MasterCards from making purchases outside of Russia, further, the Facebook and Instagram ban very well could could lead to all Oculus and Meta services being banned without something like a VPN as well. Road to VR states something pretty interesting too. Russia is pushing for Meta to be deemed as an extremist organization, and if this does happen, even if you do use a VPN to access these services while in Russia, just using them could be considered a criminal act. Jeez. Thanks to Scarred Ghost for this article a little while ago, a recent study shows that VR is 44% more addictive than flat gaming. The study was put together to explore VR addiction in the future as it becomes a part of more and more people's lives and slowly enters the mainstream. It was shown that compared to PC gaming in nearly every segment, VR was significantly more addictive, leading to faster developments of habits, interests, and more positively, learning of skills was faster and skill retention was higher. A number of other factors and situations were also studied. For example, the difference in addiction for age and gender, with teenage males having the highest probability for addiction, and adult females being able to break the addiction or VR session the easiest. The reason for VR addiction being so prevalent, the article says, is because VR is far better at exciting our brains and implementing more immersive sensory input than flat gaming, which will only get more intense as VR gets more immersive. I know that I have suffered my fair share of VR addiction staring at mirrors, and I've seen it happen to a lot of people around me. So, interesting in general, kind of curious. Would you say that you've ever undergone some sort of VR addiction? And make sure to leave a question of the week down below. I'll answer one next week. Sorry, this one's just running a little long. And don't forget to join my Discord and Tube's Discord for the big party this weekend on Saturday. There's also going to be an avatar creation competition tied into this, and Fia and I are going to be judging it, so it'll be really fun. It's going to be a night that VR will never forget, and I'm so excited for it. And thank you to all of my Patreon supporters, especially my Omegas. I couldn't do any of this without you. Don't forget to like this video if you loved it, subscribe if you want more of this, and hit that freaking bell if you just can't live without it. Much love, relax.